Good morning, everyone. We are here to talk about communication aids and strategies using tools of technology. We will discuss preparing multimedia presentation, blogging, preparing Picha-Kucha presentation. Now, let's talk about what is a communication aid. A communication aid helps an individual to communicate more effectively with people around them. Communication aids are also referred to as AAC devices. AAC refers to augmentative and alternative communication, which is defined as a huge range of techniques which support or replace spoken communication. So, the importance of communication aids is it help people who have little or no speech to communicate their needs, preferences, ideas, and to interact both socially and functionally in an education or work setting. Then for the example naman ng communication aid, we have chart with pictures, symbols, letter or words, simple single message voice output devices, and application that run on our tablets and on our mobile phones. Then the last one is complex dedicated communication devices, including a range of access options such as joystick, switch, and eye gaze. And for the types of AAC system, we have two main types, which is the unaided communication and aided communication. For the unaided communication methods include vocalizations and speech attempts as well as gestures and body movements. Many unaided communication methods are used and understood by most people, such as facial expressions, looking, pointing, and other common gestures. Learning unaided method of communication is important because a device or other communication aid may not always be unavailable in every situation in which other needs to communicate. And for the last types of AAC system, we have aided communication. So ano nga ba yung aided communication? Aided communication is a communication in which the expression of the intended message relies in part at least on some physical form external to the communicator, such as using an actual object to convey meaning, pointing to symbols, activating a device. Para sa mga nagtatanong kung ano nga ba ang difference between aided communication and unaided communication. Para dito, ang unaided communication, it does not use additional equipment. People typically use body language, gesture, vocalization, or signing. Samantalang, ang aided communication, it use equipment. This can range from low-tech or to high-tech methods and often use pictures and symbols instead of together with words.
What are the common strategies? Communication is the exchange of information between a sender and receiver. It used to be that you only had to worry about the way you communicated face-to-face or on paper. Communication strategies can be verbal, non-verbal, or visual. Integrating all the strategies together will allow you to use the most success. There are three types of communication strategies. First, verbal communication strategies. It can be breakdown into two categories of written and oral communication. Yung verbal communication strategies, ito ay maaaring written o kaya naman ay oral. Ito ay ginagamitan ng salita para sa pakikipag-communicate. Example, pag-uusap ng dalawang tao or grupo sa isang proyekto. Second, nonverbal communication strategies. This consists of mostly visual cues such as body language, facial expressions, physical distance between communicators, or the tone of the voice. Nonverbal communication, ito naman ay ang paggamit lamang ng body language, facial expressions at pati na rin ng visual cues. Hindi ito gumagamit ng salita para sa pakikipag-communicate. Example, katulad ng mga PWD ng mga pipe at bingi, dito sila mas nagkakaintindihan sa paggamit ng sign language at facial expression. Third, visual communication strategies. It can be seen through science web pages and illustrations. Yung visual communication strategies, ito ay maaaring makita sa mga sign o kaya ay sa mga web pages. Maaaring halimbawa nito ay mga sign sa daan. Using tools of technology, multimedia is a content that uses a combination or different content forms such as text, audio, images, animations, video, and interactive content. Halimbawa na lang ng multimedia ay ang pagkakombine ng audio, mga images, pati na rin ang interactive content. Transparency, also known variously as a view foil or a view graph, is a thin sheet of transparent, flexible material, typically cellulose acetate, onto which figures can be drawn. Ang transparency, pwede ito mapagsulatan dahil ito ay isang maliit na sheet ng flexible material. Video is an electronic medium for the recording, copying, playback, broadcasting, and display of moving visual media. Video ay isang maaaring gamitin sa recording at mga display na visual media. Sound recording and reproduction is an electrical, mechanical, electronic, or digital inscription and recreation of sound waves, such as spoken voice, singing, instrumental music, or sound effect. Sound recording and reproduction, pwede itong gamitin sa pag-i-edit ng iyong boses at saka ng mga sound.
Multimedia presentation. A multimedia presentation is a type of presentation that usually different from the communication to get the message across. Ibig sabihin daw po na may isang uri ng presentation na gumagamit ng iba't ibang anyo ng komunikasyon upang makarating ang isang mensahe.
Multimedia presentation, it goes beyond the use of text and images. These presentations generally include animation, video, audio, or interactive features like forms, pop-ups, and lots more. Multimedia presentation have been around since Microsoft PowerPoint started, offering animation and video many years ago.
What makes a multimedia presentation different than the average PowerPoint piece of the presenter software? Bilang isang aspekto sa pagtatanghal, nakikipagtulungan kami sa isang malawak na hanay ng negosyo mula sa maliliit at katamtamang laki ng mga kumpanya. Ibig sabihin po yung magtutulungan po para sa negosyo.
Unlike a PowerPoint presentation, the term multimedia presentation is more commonly used in the business or corporate setting.
Components of multimedia. The components are text, graphic, audio, video, at animation. Parang ito po ang mga bahagi ng multimedia kagaya po ng text, graphic, audio, video, at animation. Ayun po yung mga uri.
And multimedia is composed by many integrated forms of media. These media sources are implemented together to form something called as multimedia. A single form of media never gather attention, but when combined and formatted, it turns to make a really good presentation and output of multimedia. The components of multimedia are the subjects, which are put in the involvement in order to create multimedia.
Class of multimedia. It makes teaching process much and research. Pagtuturo po ito para sa madaling proseso, para po mapadali yung proseso ng ginagawa.
And the other pros of multimedia, it allows the user to present ideas, views, and other informations in a attractive, interesting, and effective ways. It helps to present complex ideas and procedures in a simplified way. Its information presented through these sources are much easier to remember and think back to.
Cons of multimedia. The cost of developing a quality multimedia is also quite high. Ibig sabihin po nun, maganda o mahalaga ang pagbuo ng multimedia kasi medyo mataas po. Para po mataas yung ating multimedia.
and the cons of multimedia. Only someone with knowledge of extensive multimedia software and production can develop a quality multimedia show. Not all devices are compatible for multimedia. Time for compilation of resources and suitable skins for programs is quite extra.
Text is the most basic component of multimedia. Texts are alphanumeric characters used for presenting information such as this description. Text can be made quite creatively and distinctively by using fonts, colors, styles, or special effects such as shadow, bouncing, or fading. So text was basically what we use for presentation such as descriptions, and we could also change the styles, put animation, and change the color of it. Graphic. Graphic refers to the digital form of image, drawing, or a photograph. Some common graphic files are TIFF or Tagged Image File Format, GIF, Graphics Interface Format, JPEG, Joint Photographic Experts Group, PNG, Portable Network Graphics. This medium can be used with text to provide a better, clearer information. In 1960, computer graphics was an official term. This was the period of 2D image development and arcade games. The next decades feature rendered has 3D image, while our age has limitless boundaries. So graphic presentation is an image or visual representation of an object, but it has a different types of file formats. Audio. Audio refers to music, speech, or any other form of digital sound. There are different types or formats of sounds such as WAV, MP3. Audio medium is preferably used with animation to present information. The audio sector has developed quite dramatically nowadays with HD recorder on a handheld mobile phone and 3D surround sound. Audio was basically what we hear in a presentation, and it can be music, speech, and it can also be used with animation to present information.
Animation. Animation medium is one of the most effective medium for presenting information. Animation refers to the fast movement of sequence of image artwork. It used to explain in short interval of time such as movies, cartoons, and education. Animation is a method of photographing successive drawing models or even puppets to create an illusion of movement in a sequence. Because our eyes can only retain an image for approximately 1/10 of a second. When multiple images appear in fast succession, the brain blends them into a single moving image. In traditional animation, pictures are drawn or painted on transparent celluloid sheet to be photographed. Early cartoons are the example of this, but today most animated movies are made with computer-generated imagery or CGI. There are different types of animation. Traditional animation, 2D animation, 3D animation, motion graphics, stop motion. Traditional animation is the one of the most oldest form of animation in film. It's sometimes called cell animation. As mentioned above, in traditional animation, objects are drawn on celluloid transparent paper. In order to create the animated sequence, the animator must be drawn every frame. It's the same mechanism as a flip book, just on a grander scale. Traditional is often 2D animation. Aladdin, The Lion King, and the other earlier cartoons are the best example of it. Number 2 is 2D. 2D animation can fall under traditional animation, like most early Disney movie, Pinocchio, Beauty and the Beast, etc. But there is something called vector-based animation that can be 2D without being traditional. With vector-based, the motion here can be controlled by vectors rather than pixels. So, image with familiar formats like JPG, GIF, BMP are pixel image. Vector-based animation use mathematical values to resize image so motion is smooth. Number 3, 3D. 3D or computer animation is the most common type, but just because computer have step in instead of actual drawing, it's not necessarily easier. The computer is just another tool and 3D animation is still a long, intense process. Next is motion graphics. Motion graphics are digital graphics that create the illusion of motion, usually for ads, title sequence in films, but ultimately exist to communicate something to the viewer. They're often combined with sounds of multimedia projects. Last, stop motion. Stop motion encompasses claymation, pixelization, object motion, cut-off animation, and more. But the basic mechanics are similar to the traditional style like a flipbook. However, instead of drawing, stop motion adjusts physical object in each frame. The earliest production for computer graphics animation began since digital art interest during 1940s. During the 1970s, 2D graphics had really made its mark. 3D production escalated during 1980s with software also developing. During 1990s, CGI was established. Toy Story 1995 was the first feature-length CGI-based movie. Animation has taken great mark in multimedia. 2D computer graphics is the computer-based generation of digital images, mostly from two-dimensional models and by techniques specific to them. It may refers to the branch of computer science that comprise such techniques or to the models themselves. There are two types of 2D computer graphics, bitmap and vector. A bitmap is a picture made up of lots of tiny dots called pixel and can be edited in Adobe Photoshop. Vector is when the picture is joined on vector paths and shapes are used to create objects. 3D computer graphics, sometimes called CGI, 3D CG, or three-dimensional computer graphics, are graphics that use a three-dimensional representation of geometric data that is stored in the computer for the purpose of performing calculation and rendering 2D images. 3D graphics are the creation, display, and manipulation of objects in the computer in the 3 dimension. Video. Video medium is the most advanced and effective medium for presenting information. It represents the movement of sequence of real images of real events. Video features both sounds and picture media. It is one of the best ways to present information in short time. It is usually retained longer in the memory, and the first video technology was based on CRT display. When things became successful, people decided on improving the frame rate, quality, and aspect ratio. Sabi dito, ang video daw ay isa sa pinaka-advanced and epektibong paraan ng pagpapadala ng impormasyon or pagpapakita ng impormasyon, dahil sa video is mas makikita natin ng maayos at mas mauunawaan nating maayos yung mga isinasaad dito. And ang video din ay pinaka maganda talagang way dahil bibigay nito or nagprepresento ng information sa isang maikling oras lamang. And kadalasan pag nanonood tayo ng video, mas tumatatak sa atin yung mga napapanood natin dahil mas yung utak natin, mas naiiwan siya dahil mas nalilibang tayo kaya mas natatandaan natin siya. And there are 5 types of video production. Number 1 is educational video. Educational videos are excellent example of teaching and learning concept as video uses the primary senses of sights and sound. Using video in educations allow concept to be taught more easily and be retained better than reading of a page. Lalo na sa panahon natin ngayon, mas natututo tayo kapag yung mga aaralin natin is video kaysa babasahin natin, kasi pag binasa natin pwede tayong tama din, and pag papanoodin naman natin siya, mas nalilibang tayo at mas tumatatak to sa isip natin. Number 2 is promotional videos. Promotional videos have become exceptionally popular with the convenience of fast wireless internet, powerful mobile devices, and businesses realizing that they can afford and use video with their marketing. Number 3 is informational videos. These are the most simplistic type of videos, cut and dry information delivered as successfully as possible. Number 4, documentary films and videos. Documentary films is non-fictional motion pictures intended to document some aspect of reality, primarily for the purpose of instruction, education, or maintaining a historical record. Lastly is entertainment videos. Entertaining videos simply for entertainment sake. This example dito is music video, travel video, wedding videos, comedy shows, reality shows, YouTube channel stars, movies, ganun. Use of multimedia presentation. Number 1, education. Multimedia is used in teaching and learning. It is used to make this process more interesting and effective. Multimedia applications play a crucial role in education. They take the method of teaching and studying to the next level, so many schools are encouraging teachers to use multimedia along with their teaching skills to invoke interest for students in their studies. Also, it helps the brain to absorb and retain information more easily, and increases the learning effectiveness and more productive than traditional learning methods. With the help of multimedia, students can learn at home without any personal instructor or teachers. The sharing of study material is also easy with the help of multimedia, as the material can be shared over the internet. Number 2, business. In business sector, it is used for promotions of product and is usually provided with function to help project data, plans, and statistics. Application of multimedia in business are presentation, training, marketing, advertising, product demos, network communications, and etc. With the use of multimedia presentations, the audience can easily understand a concept. It provides an effective and efficient way to grab the attention of the visitors and share information about various products easily. It is also used in business marketing to persuade customers to buy the products. Number 3, advertising. Advertising is also a major part of multimedia. Multimedia is taken to make any advertisement more detailed and specific to promote production and business. The advertising industry uses multimedia to advertise businesses, products, and services. Multimedia advertising is done using animation and graphic designs in advertisements to describe the products or services to customers. Advertisements are of two types: printed advertisements and electronic advertisement. Both types of advertisement are first prepared digitally by using professional software, and then they are released in the market to target the audience. Lastly, entertainment. Multimedia is most developed and widely used for the entertainment sector. All videos and computer games are based on multimedia. Using multimedia makes games and software more interactive and interesting. Multimedia is widely used in the entertainment industry. It is especially used to develop special effects in movie and video games. Music and video apps are the most glaring example of the rise of multimedia in entertainment. The use of multimedia in the gaming industry made it possible to make interactive games. The integrated audio and visual effects makes video games more fascinating. Social networking apps along with multimedia tools allows users to watch and share photos, videos on social networking sites. Audiobook and ebook reader apps on smartphones let users carry a book without excess load.
These are the steps in making effective multimedia presentation. First, know the purpose of the presentation. Before you can start creating a multimedia presentation, you need to know exactly what you'll be presenting about and why. Jot down some ideas about what you want to achieve with your presentation. Below are questions you need to address in making your multimedia presentation. Just make sure to have all the information you need to present in an orderly fashion so it's easier when it's time to create. Second step, know the audience. You should learn more about the audience to whom you'll be speaking. It's a good idea to obtain some information on the backgrounds, values, and interests of your audience so that you understand what the audience members might expect from your presentation. Third step, gather information. Learn as much about your topic as you can. Prepare detailed notes on some of the ideas you may want to use during your presentation. Ask yourself what information you plan on discussing during your presentation, what message you want to deliver to your audience, and where you can find additional information. Fourth step, use a variety of resources such as textbooks, digital resources, and internet. These are important tools that can help bolster the multimedia presentation. The use of these resources allows the presenters to illustrate and demonstrate complex ideas with the help of visual and audio learning elements. Fifth step, do not forget to cite sources. To show your audience you've done proper research by listing sources you use to get your information, you should be responsible by giving credit to other researchers and acknowledging their ideas. To avoid plagiarism by quoting words and ideas used by other authors. Provide references verbally or in text citations as well as a reference or works cited list on the last slide. Number 6. Organize the information. Now, you need to organize your material to add clarity to your presentation. It is important to create a structure that helps your audience understand your message. If you force them to search, you will lose your audience attention, but organizing your presentation will keep them right there with you. Look through your key points. Think in terms of what is of most interest to your audience. This is your most important point and should be the one you present first. Organize the remaining points in terms of what is most important in conveying your message. When you are finished with this process, your key points will end up in a most to least important order. Your most important point should be stated first because people are most attentive at the beginning of a presentation. Also, if there is a time limit, you don't want to be cut off without having made your most important points. Number 7. Check technical issues. Every speaker has had something go wrong with the equipment as they speak. The hard truth is that most technical problems are preventable with better preparation. Here are the points to remember to avoid technical issues. First, you must find the right contrast in your presentation. Next, use only one design and color scheme throughout the slide presentation. Avoid clutter. Avoid patterned or textured background. Use large font size, minimum of 18 points. Use fonts that are easy to read. Don't use fancy fonts. Don't use more than 2 fonts. Avoid too much text. Don't use the presentation as your notes. Use no more than 3 or 4 bullets per side. The last step is be creative. You need to be creative in doing a multimedia presentation. You may add animations, transitions, effects, stickers, or graphics so that your audience will not be bored watching your presentation. But do not overdo it because it may draw out their attentions to the effects, not to the topic.
Blogging. Blogging refers to writing, photography, and other media that's self-published online. Blogging started as an opportunity for individuals to write diary-style entries, but it has been incorporated into websites for many businesses. The hallmarks of blogging includes frequent updates, informal language, and opportunities for readers to engage and start a conversation. The word blog is actually a shortened form of its original name, weblog. These weblogs allow early internet users to log the details of their day in diary-style entries. Blogs often allow readers to comment. The term weblog was coined by John Barger on December 17, 1997. The short-form blog was coined by Peter Merholz, who jokingly broke the word weblog into the phrase weblog in the sidebar of his blog, PeterMe.com, in April or May 1999. Shortly thereafter, Evan Williams at Fira Labs used blog as both a noun and verb to vlog, meaning to edit one's weblog or to post the one's weblog, and devised the term blogger in connection with Fira Labs' blogger product, leading to the popularization of the terms. Ang blogging ay nagsisimula muna sa pagsusulat, pagkuha ng litrato at iba pang media. Nagsisimula muna sa isang tao ang vlog upang magbigay kaalaman at pagbabahagi ng kwento sa media. Madalas rin nitong ginagamit ng mga kumpanya upang makakuha ng idea at mapadali ang kanilang diskarte sa marketing. Sa pagbablogging, madalas kasama ang pag-update at formal na pagsasalita. Ang salitang vlog ay mula sa orihinal na word na weblog. Ito ay pinaikli lamang. Ang salitang weblog ay nilikha ni John Barger noong 1997. Pinaikli naman ito ni Peter Merholz noong April or May 1999. Ginamit naman ni Evan at Pyra ang vlog hanggang sa humantong ito sa blogger.
Different types of blogs. For the first type, we have personal blogs. The personal blog is an ongoing online diary or commentary written by an individual, rather than a corporation or organization. While the vast majority of personal blogs attract very few readers, other than the blogger's immediate family and friends, a small number of personal blogs have become popular, to the point that they have attracted lucrative advertising sponsorship. The second type of blogs, we have collaborative blogs or group blogs, a type of weblog in which posts are written and published by more than one author. The majority of high-profile collaborative blogs are organized according to a single uniting theme, such as politics, technology, and advocacy. The next type is microblogging. Microblogging is the practice of posting small pieces of digital content, which could be text, pictures, links, short videos, or other media on the internet. Microblogging offers affordable communication mode that feels organic and spontaneous to many users.
Corporate and organizational blogs. A blog can be private, as in most cases, or it can be for business or non-for-profit organization or government purposes. Blogs used internally and only available to employees via an internet are called corporate blogs. Ang blog ay maaaring maging pribado, tulad ng sa makaramihan ng mga kaso ng anumang blog. Ito ay maaari para sa negosyo, hindi para sa tubo ng organisasyon o layunin ng pamahalaan. Ang blog ay ginagamit para sa mga empleyado sa pamamagitan ng internet. Aggregated blogs. An individuals or organization may aggregated selected feeds on specific topic, product or service and provide combined view for its readers. Maaaring pagsamasamahin ng mga individual o organisasyon ang mga napiling salita sa partikular na paksa, produkto o serbisyo at pagbigay ng pinagsama-samang mga view para sa mga magbabasa nito.
By genre. Ang ilang mga blog ay nakatuon sa isang partikular na paksa, tulad ng political blogs, journalism blogs, health blogs, travel blogs, gardening blogs, house blogs, book blogs, fashion blogs, beauty blogs, lifestyle blogs, party blogs, wedding blogs, photography blogs, project blogs, psychology blogs, sociology blogs, education blogs, niche blogs, classical music blogs, quizzing blogs, and legal blogs. By media type. Ang isang blog na binubuo ng mga video ay tinatawag na isang blog. At ang binubuo ng mga link ay tinatawag na link blog. Ang isang site na naglalaman ng isang portfolio ng mga sketch ay tinatawag na isang sketch blog. At kung binubuo ng mga larawan ay tinatawag na isang photo blog. By device. Ang isang blog ay maaari ding tukuyin sa pamamagitan ng kung anong uri ng device ang ginagamit. Gaya ng mobile phone. Ito ay maaaring tawaging isang mobile blog. Reverse blog. Ang isang reverse blog ay binubuo ng mga gumagamit nito sa halip na isang blogger. Ang sistemang ito ay may mga katangian ng isang blog at ang pagsulat ng ilang mga may akda.
How to structure a blog post. So first, we have to make the introduction of the blog. It starts with a clear and gripping headline to stir up interest so that the readers will have interest on the blog post you're making. Tell your readers what they will gain or learn from your article. It will have an impactful introduction to your blog post. Include numbers from statistics to build trust. Main content. Before writing, you will have to think about how to create an outline to structure thoughts. Write subheadlines to guide and give insights to the content. Follow a system on how to structure your paragraph so that you will not be confused. Include images that fit your content and loosen up text box to make your blog post more appealing. Create a list to structure data in an accessible way. Use bold and italic font styles to create emphasis and also to make sure it's readable. Add code snippets to increase understanding. Create more deeper level of structures with more subheadlines. Add internal as well as external links to your content. Ending. Include a short recap about your blog post and highlight the important points made. Write some more about your opinions and experiences. Engage your users by asking questions. That's all. And now let's proceed to Pecha Kucha.
Peka Kua presentation. A Peka Kua presentation is a format that uses 20 slides or images that are displayed for 20 seconds each. The slides will move automatically as the presenter is speaking. This format ensures that the speaker is concise. Keep the presentation moving and gets through all of their content. Although it is an uncommon format, it is most often used for creative discipline to share their work or for professional to share a journey or history. Some college courses will ask students to use this format to increase their proficiency in in presenting content quickly with purpose and energy. Pekakuha is a dynamic presentation method developed by two Tokyo-based architects as a way to maximize the exchange of ideas while keeping the audience's attention. The name Pekakuhas come from the Japanese, meaning chit-chat. Pekakuha as a method should not be confused with Pekakuha nights, which while using the presentation format are actually citywide even with design organizer. The objective of the Pekakuha assignment is to facilitate student communication and agreement, including stating and supporting a thesis. Ang pagtatanghal ng Pekakuha ay isang format na gumagamit daw ng 20 slide o mga imahe na ipinakita sa loob ng 20 segundo bawat isa. Tinitiyak din daw ng format na ito ay tagapagsalita ay maigsi. Pinapanatiling gumagalaw ang presentation at naintindihan ang lahat ng kanilang nilalaman. Ito ay kadalasang ginagamit para sa mga malikhaing disiplina upang ibahagi ang kanilang trabaho o para sa mga professional na magbahagi ng isang paglalakbay o kwento daw po. Hilingin sa ilang mga kurso sa kolehiyo ang mga mag-aaral na gamitin ang format na ito upang mapatas ang kanilang kausayan sa pagpapakita ng nilalaman ng mabilis, may layunin at lakas daw po.
Preparing Pekakucha presentation. Insert images, as usual resizing them to your liking. Purists will say there should be no text, only images or images with superimpose text on them already. Caption images. Best practice is to fill the screen unless using space for emphasis. For stock images, check out the web for open source images. Avoid writing out a script for your narration. Write a simple outline for the big ideas of each slide. The best situation is when you know your topic so well that you don't even need an outline. Use the outline for planning purposes. Then impress everyone without it when you present in person. In making a Pekakucha presentation, we must avoid writing or inserting text in the presentation. It is highly suggested to insert or to put pictures and images only. The size of its picture will be depend upon on the author of the presentation, and to put emphasis on the information given the presentation. Writing a simple or short outline will do.
Adjust your timing after or even during the presentation slide design process. Try practicing your talk, and you may notice that you have 30 seconds worth of talking on another. Readjust your slides accordingly and split up the slide or incorporate it into another as appropriate. Pichakuchas require impeccable timing, so in order to get your timings right, you need to practice it in real time. So, keep doing practicing can help you to be able to speak with ease and get used to the timing. You can also record your narrations within PowerPoint for each slide, but be sure not to save timings when you're done, as that will negate the automatic 20 seconds you put in place previously. A couple of times, some presenters did finish talking about the slide for a few seconds short of the 20 seconds. So, preparing your narration will help you a little bit short of 20 seconds rather than a bit over. The importance of Pichakucha presentation challenges the presenter to better engage the audience. So, this format ensures that the speaker is concise and keeps the presentation moving and gets through all of their contents. Picha-kucha is a new approach in doing a presentation in the classroom. It is a foreign concept to the students because they usually do not have the time limit in presenting their ideas in a PowerPoint presentations. Therefore, it is necessary to introduce, get to know, and practice a lot in the classroom. So, practicing is the key point in Picha-kucha presentations. The students are required to map the points for each slide to fit the 20 seconds per slide format. The visually attractive slides is another important factor in Picha-kucha presentation. The use of graphics and pictures is highly encouraged and paragraph is not recommended in the presentation. What makes a good Picha-kucha? A Picha-kucha presentation utilizes imagery and efficient use of spoken word to create a seamless, memorable, meaningful, and concise presentation. It is a great method for teaching students on how to create their best presentations for their class projects.